Well, hey there, guys. I'm Axel the Beast of ZeldaDungeon.net, and I want to talk to you about Majora's Origins. Now, I know Majora's Mask Month is over, and I actually intended to do this video during it, but it didn't work out, so I'm doing it now because I figure why waste this perfectly good idea for a video. Basically, I want to talk to you about Majora's Origins, and this is one thing about Majora's Mask that they never really answered or told us anything about. They just constantly throughout the game, Majora was there, he was the villain. And he actually only appeared, mainly in the beginning, and then at the end, the Skull Kid wearing Majora's mask and stuff. And then at the end is the only time you really get to see Majora himself, not the mask, not the Skull Kid wearing the mask, just Majora. That's the only time is at the end of the game. So, realistically, you didn't really get to see the real villain until the climax. Majora was an interesting creature / character. I mean, there's... none of the other Zelda villains have been quite like him. I suppose Bellum would be the most roughly comparable one, because Bellum was another similar complete monstrosity freak kind of villain. And, Bellum could be similar to Majora in a way. That's one villain that's similar. But all the others, they're very different from Majora. Majora was pretty unique. And, it fits for a game in the Zelda series that was really weird and interesting. It fits that they have a very weird and interesting villain. Now, again, like a lot of the game, and I've talked about this before. Actually, I probably talked about Majora's Origins in the past before, but this is a video dedicated to it. In the past, I've talked about how Majora's Mask is a game with a lot of mystery, and why, I don't think that they should, make a sequel to the game because it ruins the mystery. I don't think they actually need to explain anything because the mystery of the game and the questions that you're presented with the entire time, it actually makes the game what it is. Now, Majora is a lot like this, and as such, I don't think they should actually tell us what Majora was, and also, because of it, we don't really know a thing about Majora. So, while the theorizing is fun, I wouldn't want them to follow up and actually tell us, because, it's just cool how it is. But they did give us some information. There are some clues to the puzzle. The beginning of the game, near the beginning, the Happy Mask Salesman basically says that the mask belonged to an ancient tribe, and, they used Majora's Mask for hexing rituals, and then they decided Majora's Mask was too dangerous, and they sealed it in shadow or darkness or something like that. Now, you'd think, oh, they made the mask. No, it doesn't specify that, and I think if that was the point, I think they would have specified it. I think the fact that they didn't say it almost means, no, that isn't the case. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but that just seems like the logic of implication there. And, the ancient tribe is often thought to be part of the Dark Tribe. I've actually been mistaken in the past saying it was actually called the Dark Tribe. It was the Ancient Tribe, unancient tribe. And but I still think it's probably the Dark Tribe because that's the only tribe. That's the interesting usage of the word tribe. I mean, they call the Deku's and Zora's tribes, but this is an interesting usage of an undefined tribe, and it's also mentioned with just as much mystery as the Dark Tribe in general. Not to mention the fused shadow has the same eye design as Majora's Mask. I mean, I don't read too much into that theory usually, but at the same time, the Twilight are pretty much confirmed at this point to be connected to the Dark Tribe we hear about all the time. Anyway, so I don't know, the Dark Tribe, I don't think, in this Ancient Tribe, whatever, if they're the same, I don't think they made the mask. The mask's origins seem to be, in my opinion, related to the Icona region, or Stone Tower. Because, in Icona, there's instances of the Triforce in the Stone Tower. Not in the temple, in the tower, just outside the temple, on the underside of the blocks that you use to build the little bridge to the temple entrance. And, I don't know, there's something weird with the Stone Tower. Obviously something strange happened there, and if you look at there's a lot of weird statues and symbolism and just like architecture and stuff in the Stone Tower Temple that seems like, more so than like the other dungeons in the game, the other temples, it's supposed to have some kind of a point. And it's all disturbing and weird. And more so, there's instances of images of Majora appearing in the temple. If I recall, it appears in that sandy area where you fight Twin Mold on the main platform. I don't quite remember for certain, but I'm pretty sure. And it also, the entrance of the temple, when you go inside, the first thing you see, the first formation architecture thing, looks like Majora's Wrath when it's flipped upside down. And I think it was flipped upside down. And other times it just looks like Majora's Mask. I mean, it seems like there's an intentional depiction of Majora there, which makes me think that Majora was worshipped there. Now, was this a home to the ancient tribe that used it for hexing rituals? Or was it something prior to them? I think that the fact that Majora is identified as a being with intelligence means he's not just the mask. It's not just a mask that happens to have magic powers, especially considering all the masks in the game are actually, or most of them, are actually made from people. I think that Majora's Mask was likely created with the Song of Healing, which may have not originally been intended to heal anyone, but rather to just seal evil. I think that because of the fact that Majora was worshipped in the temple, means that he probably was some kind of demon. And that's another interesting thing, because Flat and Sharp made there was a reference in their story with that Sharp sold his soul to the devil. And there was an evil that had overcome the land of Icona, and it came from Stone Tower when the doors had opened. Stone Tower was an impregnable fortress that couldn't be destroyed. It also kind of makes you think of a demonic power and stuff. And, just the fact that it was the evil from Stone Tower that caused all the trouble there, and yet there's this one case where it was the devil, not the evil of Stone Tower, in a way. I mean, it just seems unusual that they did that. And, also, the Icona region is one of the only regions where I don't believe there was much direct reference to the Skull Kid. Every other region, like the pirates, talked about being led on by the Skull Kid. He gave them the tip about stealing the Zora eggs. All over the place, there's references to the Skull Kid. I can't really remember any particular ones in the Icona region, so that's another interesting thing. So, I mean, I've heard people theorize that maybe Majora was actually just a normal person, maybe even a child, the childlike stuff again, that was actually sealed inside the mask with the Song of Healing. But I think really it's some kind of demonic entity. I think all the information we have, all the little hints and stuff point to that. And I think especially in the nature of the battle, it was this horrible monstrosity, like really unlike most of the things we've seen in the whole series. Again, unlike, except maybe Bellum. Just the way that they use the term incarnation, wrath, that almost sounds like a powerful godlike or demon-like deity, what other thing has an incarnation? Unless, that's the kind of things that don't have physical forms, that make forms as they need. And the wrath thing kind of implies, like, the wrath of God or the wrath of the devil, whatever, stuff like that. Majora probably, I think, is a demon. It could even be like the devil of either Zelda in general or just Termina. Or, there's also like dark god stuff or like fourth goddess theories. After all, Majora was mostly purple, and there is that fourth purple color. That's nuts. I mean, I don't believe that, but, it's interesting. I guess that's all that I have on the origin of Majora thing, but I don't know, it's like a never-ending debate. It's interesting stuff, just like a lot of stuff in Majora's Mask, the game in general. And, let's, what do you think about the game? What do you think about the origin of Majora? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm right? Do you have your own thoughts? Are there other things I forgot to mention? Tell me in the comments, and I'll see you guys later.